We are back at the Corinthia London, and we're in a stunning suite, and even better than that, we're with a stunning man in our Trafalgar suite. We have got, as we always say, a big juicy episode for you today.
This is the first time we've brought a man into the podcast studio. Sweet life of Billy and Sasha.
It really is.
Yeah.
These might happen again.
Corinthia Slay.
I've got a spill that's going to be everybody's spill, in that I slid into somebody's DMs. Can I get a round of applause to me? And this is my most successful DM slide because he is on the sofa with us.
Whoa!
Everybody who is listening, switch to video right now and meet Tom Manders, aka Tom Pulls Faces.
Big up Tom Pulls Faces. Woo, 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 woo,
Thanks,
woo.
guys. Thank you.
And if your algorithm is the same as mine, you will already know him because I have been, no offense, totally flooded by your content, which I just absolutely love.
It's been a mad 8 weeks.
Is that all it's been?
8-9 weeks at this point. But yeah, it's kind of, I had like 48 followers and it was private. And then a lady said, well, I'm not going to follow you. Like, what kind of private life do you lead that you have to have it private? And then within sort of 3 or 4 weeks, it was kind of mental.
I was in the DMs.
Yeah.
Pop off.
Yeah,
So
it
hold on,
was
before we get into
interesting.
the private life, let's rewind. Please, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Who you are, what you do.
So I'm Tom Manders. I'm an aspiring actor. I think I have to put aspiring because if I was already doing it, you'd recognise me. Not from the annoying reels. I do like a really boring office job, 9 to 5 most of the time. Yeah, I think that's kind of me. It's nothing very normal.
Right, you're being
Very
humble,
boring.
so I'll add some flavour to that. I would say doing a pretty good job of being a mental health advocate for men, which is lacking in a lot of social media.
I think it's a hugely important thing to me, right? I've had a really complex journey with mental health, like really complex to the point where it's, and so have so many of my friends. And the mad bit is not one of us told each other until we were like already 30, and it was mostly in between 18 and 25.
Wow.
We waited 6 or 7 years to tell each other we'd had like this really serious mental health issues between us. Like, I won't give my friends' details, but I don't mind sharing mine. But like suicide attempts and all kinds of things. And we just didn't even tell each other.
God, that's devastating.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
So now I just feel if I, being in a position I am where I'm comfortable talking about it, maybe someone else gets a little bit of help. Like they just hear it and go like, oh, maybe I'll open up.
Yeah. God, that's so important.
Yeah, I think in general, it's just a known thing, isn't it? And men just don't talk.
Yeah.
And
we
that's a huge problem.
we bottle it up and then like push it right down and then have a sort of, midlife crisis at 40. And
Well, what was that? What is that point? What was that point? Where did that change come from?
I think what happened is I mostly grew to understand who I was a bit more. Like it sounds mad, but you really don't know as a young person. And there's all this social pressure and there's all this like, these days even more so with like social media and stuff, but I just had no idea who I actually was or like what I enjoyed, what I wanted. And I just kept living these like lives other people had told me I actually just like was supposed to do. And then I kind of learned that was absolute nonsense and that wasn't me actually. And I kind of accepted who I was a bit and what I actually liked. And then I've started to work towards it. So feel a lot more comfortable talking about it because it's actually who I am, not this like, perfect masculine nonsense thing that I was portraying, but I, played sport and stuff as a youngster.
And I know it's such a cliche, like you're in your 30s, you suddenly like know yourself. It's not a thing that happens overnight. Like we're still working those things out, yourself. But like, what was the response with your mates when you had those conversations?
Oh, it was a really awkward one because we all kind of we did that really embarrassing thing. We all get a bit too drunk and start opening up.
Love that.
And we did, and it was great. And we had these lovely conversations drunk. And then we didn't talk about it for 3 years.
That's the risky run when you have the conversation drunk.
We just pretended like it hadn't even happened. We all just like knew it, but we were too frightened to confront it. And then at some point, one of my best friends just was like, "Are we ever gonna like?" We were just sat there, just doing nothing, like literally playing FIFA or something useless. And he just went, "Are we ever gonna talk about that thing. And then we just, it then became like normal. We still talk as a group of 3 of us every day. And, you know, we now say we love you and all this like sort of these kind of mad things we just never did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And are these childhood friends?
So I met them when I was 15, yeah. And we met on the first day of me going to a new school, and we haven't literally have been inseparable ever since.
Yeah.
Like it's, it
What's
was
your
immediate.
group chat called?
The Pin Pals. So we used to go, we all played sport to a certain level once upon a time. And so would have Wednesdays off, right? And we would go bowling and cinema every Wednesday for like 3 years. And then the Simpsons bowling team is called the Pin Pals. And so that we just kind of
came up with it like that.
Yeah.
I do really love how men's brains work like that. It's like 1 + 1, 2.
Oh, it's seamless. It's such a seamless transition into the answer every time I think that about men. That is one thing that I wish I had.
Well, there's so much complexity on one side, but for the majority of things like this, it's like
A + B is C.
So simple.
Yeah, we really love doing the easy things.
No, that's
easily. And then all the complex stuff, we just sort of go like,
no,
under the
no,
carpet.
no.
Yeah.
So scooting back, you said that you played sport. Was that a big part of your upbringing, or was acting a big part of your upbringing, or both?
So acting was been my lifelong obsession, with no confidence I could ever do it until I was in my late 20s. I didn't even try because, one, I played a sport in rugby that was so anti-creativity, but also because I was given opportunities through rugby, I didn't feel like I could take advantage of the other stuff. Like, I had all these things happen with like scholarships at private schools and, you know, free education at university and all these things. So like,
and that was via rugby?
Only because of rugby. Like,
Okay.
I got kind of like plucked out of nowhere and given this meal ticket, essentially. I couldn't really turn it down or like not make the most of it, because that felt kind of disrespectful to my family and the people that had given it to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I could chase my dreams. I just had to kind of go like, right, well, this is the thing I can.
This is a dream given to you, whether you chose it or not.
I hate rugby. Hated
So
it. I hated it from
what
the
position
first
did
day I
you
played.
play?
Prop. I
Thought
was
so, yeah.
I was like 140 kilos, so I just sort of stood still.
It's an important guy, though.
Yeah. I wasn't good at it. I was just big, genuinely. And
That's me when they put me in goal and played hockey. It's fucking bleak.
Yeah. And
Netball, star shooter. Hockey,
I think
dreadful.
netball requires some skill. Rugby, the way I played it, none of that. You just have to be willing to sort of stand in the middle and let really big, scary blokes run at you at full tilt and just sort of melt.
See how that's not everybody's dream.
I was just on the reserve bench for those orange slices you got in.
Netball oranges, best things ever.
Yeah, I never got put on the court, ever. Sport ain't my jam.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not mine.
So acting was something that you wanted to do but felt like you couldn't because rugby had pulled you into all these spaces.
And also, this is going to sound a bit like naff, but it wasn't, being creative just kind of wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Like being a sports person was cool.
Yeah.
And like I went to a school when I was 16 where like rugby was the be all and end all. So like I just did rugby and that's just how it works. And being the creative kids were like different and not like the popular kids. And so I was like, I'm going to hang around and, you know, like not do it, which is mad because I literally was like cutting myself off from actual joy to do a thing I hated because it might be popular.
But when you are that age, you do find yourself in some weird situations trying to fit in, like especially our generation. I feel like we really did just do the most to be seen and heard amongst our friends, which is, you know, a bit sad, but
it is
we
sad.
move.
But if like when you recognize it, I think there's at least you can look back and think that wasn't exactly what I wanted to be. Or
yeah, although I can totally. I think because I did theatre from such a young age where we were all already not cool, it was so much easier for me to accept that. And that's one thing that I'm forever grateful for, that space was always so inclusive of everybody. Like, you don't have to be cool to sit with us. And that's, I think, why, you know, perhaps I don't give a shit about being cool now, but I totally get it. I didn't feel like the popular girl because I couldn't play sport and I didn't like playing sport, and that's the boys like the sporty girls and, you know.
Yeah.
But being uncle's cool, innit?
It's so cool now, but like when you're in it at that space when you're young, like
it's vulnerable.
You just want to fit in the same way that like I was one of the only Indian kids and I just kind of wanted to be white passing so that I could fit into that environment too. And it was similarly like it was a really rugby school. It was quite a white school. And I was like, oh, let's not talk about what my mum made for dinner last night because it was delicious, but that isn't how anybody else is living. So
you
I
were
need
really
to-
good at sport though.
That was the only thing that saved me from being bullied. It was being good at sport.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Genuinely, I'm the same because I'm naturally very insular. I know I'm very gobby now, but I didn't talk much as a child. I'm very naturally quite insecure, and so I was like ripe choice to be bullied at school. But because I played sport, it just kind of saved all of it. Like I was a science nerd and all of these things, and then like I played sports, so just swerved all of it.
Yeah, it's because the quote unquote cool kids needed you.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh,
I provided a
don't roast
service,
him, yeah.
and then I got to 18, and they threw me in the bin because obviously they didn't need me anymore. And it was one of those things like my real friends didn't. We all just stayed very close, but it was a really weird thing. Like seeing them now, they still treat you like, and because I don't have a use anymore, you bump into any of them people from school, the way they treat you is still really terrible. And you go like, oh, you were always awful. Like it wasn't just school, like it wasn't the environment. You suck.
Yeah.
And all your friends suck.
Yeah.
And some of them, like 2 of them live really close to me at the minute. And I will see them and they'll try and do the like heads nod hello. And I will look straight through them and just ignore them without fact. I refuse to have that interaction where I have to like pretend I like you as a person now.
The cynic in me says the more that you're going to grow on social media, the different that interaction will be.
Oh, I've noticed that the other day.
Yeah. Okay, tell us more.
Yeah, so a girl I went to school with who was very much not keen.
Oh, she's come crawling back.
Oh, the DMs are full.
Interesting.
All right, how are you navigating that?
I'll be honest, I think attention, because of rugby, I had like a kind of idea of what attention felt like. Not for the right reasons. They didn't like me for me. They liked me because I played for the local team. Like it wasn't actually my personality they like. These people that like me on the DMs, they don't know me either. They know the stuff I talk about in my videos. They don't know me. They don't know. So I'm just like, oh, they don't really, it's not a real thing. I'm sure if they got to know me, they'd be as bored as everybody else.
Do you think that's your insecurity talking more than...
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, I just actually want to touch on how much I respect you just straight up coming out and saying like, I probably am more insecure. I think that's quite a vulnerable thing to say, especially as a man. So I rate that.
I agree. I don't think I've heard very many men ever
admit
say that.
Yeah, say it out loud.
Well, I think also I've also struggled with my weight and stuff over the years to a point where a couple of years ago I was like 165 kilos and I'm now like 108, 109 something.
Wow.
And that really shapes, and being a big kid because of rugby, like that really shapes how you are perceived in the world. Like it really does. And like the way I'm treated today with how I look now versus how I was treated when I was at my heaviest, it's literally chalk and cheese.
Yeah, it's hard to navigate that, I think.
Oh, you get like, I'm not now, but when I first realised it, I got bitter fast.
Yeah. In what way?
Well, because you start like, oh, none of you actually are nice. You're just being nice to me now because I'm slimmer than I was. And then now I'm like, well, actually they've been conditioned that way because that's just how society is, right? They're not actually bad people. They're just treating you like they see other people treat heavy people.
Bills always says the worst thing you could be in the world is fat.
Do you know what? I can't argue with that.
I kind of think it's true.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. It's awful. Like people are terrible.
And growing up chubby or fat, whatever, which we both did, it does shape you in a different way because I think, especially our generation, we grew up in such a toxic culture of like diet culture that it really was the number one pinpoint of your downfall, wasn't it?
Well, we've talked about it before. And like, I'm so keen to hear your experience in this, is that you have to over deliver and everything else. Like you have to be a shining star on stage. You have to be the best prop in the rugby team. I like had to be the most charming or the brightest or like the most engaging or make everybody else feel amazing because you have to kind of counteract this one thing that sometimes you can't really control. And no one's really looking at who you are as a person. They're just like, okay, this is, all right, well, I've already made an assumption about you. You're lazy and undisciplined and you're, whatever. Like you have to work so much harder to prove that you're a success.
Yeah.
And to stop yourself from being that pinpoint, isn't it? Like,
also is to stop like berating yourself constantly for it too.
Yeah, it's both. It's two things. One, you have to do that because society's treated you terrible, so your insecurities require you to put that extra effort in.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you're right. You have to deliver so much more. And don't get me wrong, I'm aware that, particularly with the era we grew up in, the pressure on young women and women, like with all those magazines and the adverts and the, America's Next Top Model and all of these things, which were just like a horror show of what a body and set, like unbelievable.
And we can see that now. But then I was like, smash, I'll watch this. And then I feel shit about myself. Yeah.
I loved it. And now I'm looking back going like, oh, she was just bullying these poor women who were like 18 to 21-year-olds who were like chasing a dream, and she's just terrorizing them for our entertainment. And you're like, oh.
Obviously, we know from our point of view how it felt growing up in body types that weren't perhaps societally approved. That doesn't make sense, does it? But everyone knows what I mean.
Yeah,
it does.
It does.
Yeah,
Does
good.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
good.
slay. How did that feel growing up in the male space? Because I don't think we've ever been able to have this conversation. We had a bit of a touch on it a bit with Josh, didn't we, in terms of gay dating? But growing up, comparing your body to other boys in the gym,
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things that you don't have an awareness of it as much until there's like a big moment of, oh, I'm different. Like I actually am different. And people start then treating you differently. And then you're competing with people, whether that be sport or school or whatever. And there is always a very quick, it doesn't matter what the argument, the conversation is, there is a very quick win for the other person if they aren't heavy. And boys can be brutal.
Yeah.
Right. Boys can be really mean, fighting, picking at each other, whatever. Right. It's not like in movies, there's always the kind of like the sort of mean girl people are bitchy. Boys are awful.
Yeah, it's true.
Boys are awful. They're terrible people, And
what a shame I love them.
Well, this poor you. But yeah, and so it's really tricky to kind of build a personality that was not influenced by that like childhood different treatment.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And also because I was big, like I've always been, people used, like teachers would refer to me as like a whopper, which is fine when like in rugby sense, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, I'm a big boy. And it's like, I don't know if an adult should be saying that to like a 13-year-old boy. Like, oh yeah, we've got Tommy's a right big whopper.
No.
You're like, I don't know if that's a great thing to hear every week as like a celebration.
No,
God. So like formative years and your entire identity is now being constrained to your size, which is like the least interesting thing about you.
And it's a thing literally I was just born with. Like I am just born capable of being massive. Like I really like, you see these people who like really struggle to put on muscles and all of this, like they really work at it. I don't have to do any of that. If I have a sniff towards a gym and eat a couple of extra bits of meat, I blow up.
Start like a brick shit house.
I look like a doorman. Yeah, I look like a doorman. Within like 6 weeks.
That must be nice though, because truly it's taken me ages to get my reps up on shoulder press.
See what I'm saying? It's like a really useful thing, but I feel terrible about it because that's what I was made to feel like it was like
it was a bad thing.
Like there was something wrong.
Yeah. And then when it happened, people would like give me you'd get the reward for having all these big muscles when you play rugby. And then you go out in the real world and everybody's like, oh, he's 140 kilos of like giant doorman. That's not a wonderful thing. Like you can't fit in normal seats, can't fit in plain seats. Everybody looks at you like you're a bit strange. Every time you go out in the pub, everybody's like, can I squeeze your arms? Or like, what's your shoulder? Like squeezing your shoulders, just everyone. And that's completely allowed.
Isn't that so mental that like, can you imagine people doing that to our bodies?
Well, it does happen, doesn't it? But like,
yeah,
not in quite as like obtuse way. Like it's not. It's a bit more gross, I guess.
Yeah.
But like that is so bizarre as a concept to think you could just go and like touch another human being. It's as if you're in like a zoo.
Yeah.
And you're like
petting.
Well, you're an anomaly. You're something different to like. God, I can't believe that this could even like be present in my space. Oh, let me just check that it's real.
Like the squeezing is weird.
It's outrageous.
You just get like pinched and poked and squeezed a lot, and it's very strange.
It's like when people get congratulated for being tall. Like, oh my God, you're so tall. Like, wow, like that's news to me. I've been 6'5" for 14 years.
More than likely, they've got tall parents.
Yeah.
You know, they're not actually
it's that simple.
Mad. Crazy.
So how do you feel like in yourself having lost that much weight? Like, do you feel like a different person? How are you working through that?
I thought it would change so much more than it has.
Okay.
I thought I would be like this super confident, like I always put this stock in, like when I can see some abs for a minute, I am going to be
flying,
unstoppable.
Yeah.
And then it happened. Last year I got really impossibly lean and like really unhealthy. And I just then had insecurities about something else.
Wow.
Like it was then like, oh, well, I've now got loose skin because I was big. I've got insecurities about that. It's mad things. Like I started to worry about the shape of my skull. Who?
Your skull?
Genuinely, I got lean enough that you could see it like through my hairline.
Yeah.
Right. Who cares? And yet I was sitting there every day looking in the mirror going like, he's a bit strange. So I'm like, is that normal? Like, should I be going up here and then out? What?
I feel like you've climbed inside so many of our conversations about weight and body. And it's mad to me that like a man feels the same way, because it feels so intrinsically female to critique yourself and your body. And it is like, I'm genuinely surprised by your not maybe now that I've got to know you and you're very honest in what you say, but like, is there ever an end goal then? Like, what does happy look like?
I think a lot of the work I've done, so I've put on a fair bit of weight again since then, since I got really lean, partly because that way I didn't have to see the
skull.
shape.
Yeah, it's awful.
But I think a lot of the happiness stuff is more about what I can achieve with who I am and not about what I actually, the things I can't change.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I had so many things going on in my brain that stopped me achieving what was possible for me because of the fact I was a heavy child, essentially, right? Obviously, there's loads of other things. There's all kinds of, you know, everybody's got some childhood trauma they don't like talking about. You know, like we all
like talking about it.
Yeah, we like talking about it.
Yeah, dig away, open book. But I tell you, it can get sad.
It's rough out here.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I had all these things, and now like I'm kind of learning what's possible, and that's changing things slightly. Like achieving things I didn't think I could, even in a marginal way. Like, sounds mad, dressing every day when I go to work, when I go to my first job, they must think I'm mental. I go well too far on whenever I can in terms of dressing up to make myself feel good. Because for like 15 years, none of the clothes I liked, I did 3 or 4 XL. It just didn't. It just don't go up past 1X is kind of the standard big boy shirt. You know, and I was like, that was well in the rear view.
Oh, babe, try being a plus size fashion editor. It's fucking bleak.
I don't know how. I've always been interested to know like how that is on a daily basis.
Rough, in short. Yeah. Like right now in my old, like not even that long ago life, I'd be doing New York, London, Milan, Paris, sat front row at the biggest shows, and like walking through about 200 cameras plus to get there. And when you don't want to be seen by anybody, it is horrendous. Yeah. And then you have to shake yourself because you're like, oh, get a fucking grip, boo-hoo, you're sat front row at Saint Laurent. Yeah. Oh, what a sad little life. Yeah. And it's so hard because I want to show up in a way that I would feel really proud of. And the one thing that holds me back is how I look. And but it's also then tied into my job of like, who's going to trust a fashion editor that doesn't dress well?
Yeah, you are stung both ends.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, it was quite hard, yeah.
But good on you for not throwing in the towel, you know? Like I know from personal experience, you know, I went for quite a few auditions and stuff when I was heavy, and some of the casting directors, because I've changed my name since I've added a stage name since losing weight. So like, I've been to see some of the same casting directors, and they are super nice now, and they were super shitty. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear.
Oh,
Yeah,
swear
say
away.
what you
Thank the Lord. Yeah, so they are awful, and so I, a lot of the time, would just throw in the towel and be like, "Oh fuck it, I know I'm not getting this one. I know I'm not." So I'd not try, or they'd be giving me notes, and I know what they mean. What they're really saying is like, "You're not trying here," but they're going like, "Let's look." It's like, oh, I know I'm not getting this. Why do I care?
Wow. And is that like you thinking differently about it? Is that one of the changes you think that you've made?
I think it's easier to try when I'm being judged on what I'm actually doing, not
Yeah.
on how I look when I arrived.
I can get that on
Yeah.
a t-shirt.
That's and it's true. Like I'm now, when I go in the room, you know, I booked a job recently. It's great, right? I'm really excited. I don't really know, for the first time ever with acting stuff, I know I've booked it because I did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't shaded on how I looked, how I turned up, whether the clothes that, you know, I had a theatre job once where they didn't actually, so they had all these like really lovely outfits for all of the people, and then my one was horrendous because I was just, and I was just like, where have you managed to pull this from? Like, there must be chubby actors somewhere. Like, could you not find it? Like, it was like the quality difference was noticeable. And it was like, oh, that's a rough mental place to be, because then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to perform now at like maximum me.
So let's go back to just something that you said about you have found dressing yourself since your body's changing, something that you enjoy as a result of weight loss. Is that right?
Yeah, I think two things. One is my armor, you know, like in a weird way. It's
Yeah.
like my kind of, now I'm still insecure. I know that. So if I have an outfit on that I think looks really nice,
Sick outfit.
there is
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you very much. You know,
You're welcome.
Be chic.
any green, I'm always genuinely. But I have a thing that they can be looking at me for. I now have a reason for them to look at me that isn't I'm overweight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's not because I'm heavy now, but they're still going to look. And if people look, I'm then going to start worrying like, oh, it's because my, you know, skull shape or whatever. So, you know, something like that. So I then have like a uniform that I have. Secondly, it's a thing that I've always been passionate about. One of the reasons I adore film in a way that is like really sort of boring. It's not fun for anybody else to hear me talk about it, because I love it.
No, I totally disagree.
I think passion is so great on whatever level that is.
Yeah.
Share it with people.
And that's one of the things that with clothes, like, I'm genuinely very inspired by film, and that's how it works that way, rather than me being like obsessed with runway stuff. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I pay a little attention to the menswear stuff, you know, because I'm interested in it now as a whole. But generally, it's more about like, one, that armor, and two, connecting with a thing I'm
Yeah, I see
passionate
that for you,
about.
Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
my favourite. My favourite, genuinely. He's my
can
biggest
tell.
fashion inspiration. Yeah, it's lovely that people give me that comparison in my comments. I can't believe it, because he is
Run
like
with it.
super handsome, and I'm, don't get me wrong, delusionally confident over it. It's not, you know, about that.
Babes, we're delusional to the fucking core.
Oh, as you
Don't worry
should be.
about it.
If you're going to be good at anything, you need to be.
Delusionally good.
Delusionally good. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Well, also, like, most people would be fine at it if they did it too. But you just have to believe more than they do that you can do it, and you usually will be better.
Oh, we do. We believe
Yeah.
hard. Yeah.
Good.
We do.
Good.
We really amp up the Delulu for everyone that sits on the sofa with us.
You're like, you want to believe in that? All right, we believe in it. Too.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Good for the confidence.
Okay, speaking of confidence,
What's wrong with being?
There is no right or wrong answer to this question. But do you think now how you look has impacted when you get jobs? We can agree that there's a correlation between more work, feeling better about how you're looking. But then do you get this like second wave of potential insecurity where you're like, am I now being booked because I'm good at the job or because of how I look?
This is going to sound really bad. Great. If it's the second one, great. Oh, my confidence will be skyrocketing if that's the reason. If those people start picking me for jobs because they think I'm attractive, I will be so happy. It's unreal. I don't care if I'm wrong for the part. Give me it. Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, I rate the honesty.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said that. I should have said something cool, but that
No.
100% that'd be great.
We're not cool.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. My ego would be through the roof.
Hilarious. Love that.
That is so interesting because I think like so many actors take themselves quite seriously, don't they? They're like, it's my art and my craft, and I'm not taking away from it being those things. So I think a lot of them would probably be like, no, I want the job on merit because I can perform emotion in this way, and I've got this breadth of talents and blah blah blah. You're like, no, I'm fit. Hire me.
Yeah, sometimes it's not that
that.
deep. I think it's great that you own stuff like that. Let's talk about the juicy stuff.
All right, go on then.
We want to talk to you about dating, having gone through such a huge transformation.
When I was, big Dorman-sized bloke before I got sort of like before all the muscles went and then I got heavier again, there is a certain type of woman that very much likes those big muscly blokes. The sort of girl that like in the way to the nightclub then is like friends with the bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like that's her thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like I was undateable, but it did like, then you're living up to this kind of personality that she wants, which is like the big tough. And I'm not that. I'm sort of more teddy bear, chill out, movies, cuddle, that thing, rather than like the
Bed at 8.
ideal. Genuinely, that's ideal. Yeah, I am tired. Yeah. There was quite a while where I was like bed at 8 in the wrong direction in the morning afterwards for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And so I really, really did a lot of the party side of things.
There's a real flip reverse here, isn't there?
I think necessary.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not sustainable.
You can't go to one extreme without having seen the other.
Yeah, live fast, die young.
And at least I know what the parties are like.
Yeah.
Like
Bit
at least
shit.
never as fun as you hope they're going to be. Oh, I don't
Nothing
know,
good
actually.
happens after 2 a.m.
2? Fucking hell, 9 p.m. for me. I'm out.
8:30 in bed. Nice. With a book.
You're not wrong. You're not
with a
wrong.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With some mouth tape and a face mask. She's done. Yeah.
I love mouth tape.
Yeah, me too.
I've got into it really recently. My sleep.
It's not for me.
Oh.
I feel suffocated.
Bill's tried it once and what she did when she tried it was she put it on and then persisted to talk. So she was like, oh God. I was like, no. So you put it on and you shut the fuck up. Like that's what you're meant to do.
I felt like
she
I couldn't
ripped it off
breathe.
after like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm a convert. I'm a big convert.
It's life changing.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a torture method. Like someone's trying to
This is
suffocate me.
This is going to sound bad. I saw a bloke do a video. This is why I got into it. This is terrible. So vain. He did like a
Your
30
jawline.
day.
My thickness jawline's been popping, darling.
I love the honesty though.
Yeah,
Like
I saw a bloke
most would
do
be
it.
like, no, just trying to not snore.
No, there are loads of health benefits. There are.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I just don't
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
why
the
I'm
same
doing
with
it.
an eye mask. I don't like the
Oh,
feeling
love it.
of the closeness.
But yeah, that's why I'm doing all them health benefits.
No, I do.
He wants
I
to be
do it.
snatched.
I do it for the health benefits, but I have significantly noticed that the sharpness has
Well,
improved.
congrats,
Yeah.
both of you.
I'll be honest, I haven't noticed that yet, but I'm waiting. I'm ready.
Wait till it
I'm ready.
start cutting shapes.
Yeah, I'm ready. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm saying now.
Segue.
The relationship that you will have with whoever your long-term partner is at some stage going to be the most important thing that happens in your life.
Second most important thing. First most important thing will be the relationship you have with yourself.
I love that. Stealing it.
Slay.
100% stealing that
Period.
and using that again. But it's one of those, it's going to be a really important thing,
Yes,
right?
it is.
And you are then in a position where that person could be the most important person to you. Or in a month's time, you could have them blocked on everything and never speak to them again.
Yeah.
That is the thing that terrifies
This is
me.
where I know that like the Mrs. Something is very much just a Mrs. Something, is absolutely not the most important relationship. But I think like you can't kind of get rid of human connection even when you're trying to only give 20%. Like you still care about how someone's feeling, or like if someone's having a shit time, or like actually the conversations we have a lot is about men's mental health because he's gone through some really awful things and is currently like he's just lost one of his best friends to like so suddenly to cancer. And it's so difficult to navigate. Like I'm not his partner, you know, like we like each other and care about each other, but very much in a this could end tomorrow, and we'd both be absolutely fine and wouldn't want anything more. But like it would have been easier to do what you're doing and be like, let's pour all this back into myself. And I think about it all the time, but then I'm also like, I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
One of the reasons me and my friends are so close is it's like, you know, the closest thing I can get to that thing. Without...
Come and hug me, brother.
Cute.
Yeah, we're not always that huggy. We should. I'm working on it.
Yeah, good male hug, like man to man. I feel like big embrace.
Yeah, I don't know if men hug in the right way.
Some men do. Hashtag not all men, but yeah. I reckon I think you can implement that into the pinpoint boys.
Pals.
It can be quite like back tap.
Oh, yeah.
See, I don't think that's a good hug.
No, it's not.
It's not a hug.
You need
a back tap.
You need a smack and a grip like
or
that.
With a lot of men, it's a
right,
bit dabby, isn't it?
Yeah, I prefer the slap the hand and then cuddle, but like a full
embrace.
Both arms.
Yeah, crush me.
Little neck nuzzle.
Yeah, just without, you know. Although one of my friends does smell incredible, so I do always have I do give him a little extra.
It's nice to get on in there.
He gets a moment of, ooh. Yeah, he's fantastic with his fragrances. Yeah.
So where do you stand on situationships? Because we call Billy's situationship, we call him Mr. Something. Because it's like we don't know what he is, but there's something there, right?
Everybody needs to have them, I think, because you need to find a relationship. So if you don't have that first bit, what are you going to do, right? Not that everybody needs to, but it would be nice for a lot of people to have one. Would I wish it on my worst enemy when you have to have loads of them and the people are like checked out and all of these horrible stories you hear? No chance.
Yeah.
Like some of the things you hear about people doing to people.
Brutal.
Just like 3 months in and they just ghost. Like actually ghost. Like no comms, no nothing. Or like
it's awful.
like one of my friends, we know now he's not very close to us anymore because obviously he's a knob. But he used to do like genuinely serious love bombing with all of these sort of like women that would come round, and he's like beautiful man and he's charming and he's got all these things going for him, and then he just like use their attention for a bit and then just like
cut 'em off
and really lean in and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and like promise them the world and then just go like yank. Just it's horrific.
The only reason why this has worked is the transparency from the very beginning. I can only offer you this. Great, I can match you and only offer you this. That's all this will ever be.
And that transparency has stayed consistent.
That's the only thing that stayed consistent. Is the transparency.
As long as the comms are there, I think that's
the
best way to do it. I think the problem is usually it's at least one of you is hoping for more.
Yeah.
You know?
I actually don't think either of us is.
So that's at least you've got that.
Well, you know, you could be in love with me, I hope so, but no, I'm joking.
I'm literally just a girl.
I wouldn't want it anyway. That's not the right person, but I guess like
I don't think that matters. I want everyone to be in love with me.
We know. But the difference is dating didn't seem like it was an issue for you, like across whatever size you've been.
Not really. And I think, you know, that's a testament to the fact women are kind of better in that game than men are.
As in like less shallow, more accepting.
Because
like, in my experience,
let's call
I don't know if that's true.
It's definitely not the same on the other foot.
No.
Like
yeah, blokes aren't very...
Back my chat, like can drink pretty well, good on a night out, good on a night in, and it's hard. And people judge you like immediately without knowing anything about you. I was just in Bali for a couple of months. Don't know if you know everybody. And it was like it's a melting pot of like kind of the best and worst of humanity. And there's so many like alpha, masculine, quote unquote, like macho men in that environment. And I met a lot of them, and some of them wouldn't even look me in the eye.
Oh,
and I was like,
so rough,
I want absolutely nothing from you. Like, you're not my type. I'm not here to chirp you. Like, I was just being a polite human, and like, we're all drinking at the same table or all sat in the same area. I was just gonna be like, hey, I'm Billy, introduce myself. And it was like I didn't exist. They'd say hello to every single other girl that was like dressed in a tiny bikini or whatever. And I would be completely ignored. And I was like, this is so mean. Like it's mean.
It's awful.
But also then you're like, okay, cool. It must be true. Like I must be completely worthless because no one is taking is considering my worth in this environment. And it does like, it naturally has an effect on your confidence. And then of course, like they overhear a conversation or a snippet of something else and they'll find something interesting about, I don't know, like I'll be talking about work or like, oh, I interviewed this person or I did this or whatever. And they're like, all right, it's like, well, what is it that you do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, only because you think there's some kind of like adjacent glamour.
Yeah.
I'm now a person of interest.
Yeah, you've had to prove yourself to a level that nobody else did.
Every time.
Yeah.
And it's boring. When I see like, I'm absolutely not calling you an average man, but I see so many average men who've got like average chat, average job, average most things. And the girls are like, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Below average.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's so many that are way above average, brilliant, kind, considerate, emotionally mature, self-aware, wonderful human beings. And then you're just like, God, it's exhausting.
Yeah. It's shit. It really is. And I think a lot of it is like, it's a lot of those blokes that are like that, what that is from, one formerly being a bit of a fuckboy once upon a time.
Well, yeah.
Fully reformed.
All right, come on, let's get into that.
Yeah, fully reformed now, good person, but it took some doing.
Did you meet Jesus along the way?
Oh,
something like that.
I'll be honest, he could have been one of them. I don't know. Who knows at this point?
Met someone.
Well, exactly.
But can I just ask something about like the fuckboyery, right? Do you like decide to do it?
No. What happens is you're really, really insecure.
Okay.
And then people give you, what you're then looking for is the validation you're desperate to have for something else. You find in women giving you attention.
Got it.
And you get some and it's not real validation. So all that happens is the next day you then feel worse and create a bigger hole. And what you're then doing is just digging and digging and digging. And after a while, you feel like you end up with like nothing left. And those blokes that you're talking about, I guarantee you what that problem is they're insecure about who they are as a man.
Yeah.
They haven't had the conversations they need to have where they can realize like, actually, I'm not so bad. Like the things I actually care about are important to other people too. Because all they're doing is portraying these like fucking muscle-head character things that they've seen online. And that's not real. Like, and so they're insecure because their whole thing is built, like I was saying earlier about me, built on a foundation of bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not who they actually, that's not what they like. That's not who they are. And so it's nonsense. And so they then hurt other people to fill that gap inside themselves.
We're going to be clipping that for sure. Hey, that was sick.
This is like just one big fucking gust of like fresh air, isn't it?
Got a few of them. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's true. It's literally just the blokes they're desperate to be something they can't be because that's not who they are, because they've been told that's what they want.
Yeah.
They've been conditioned also. The problem is the conditioning, as per fucking usual, ends up hurting women because those blokes have no other way of, they can't hurt themselves. They're, too self-indulgent. So they then just like, don't do the work, don't look after himself, look at, take someone else's feelings and kind of treat him like shit.
So as a reformed fuckboy who now goes to bed at 8 o'clock and doesn't hear from anybody until the following day.
Reads fantasy novels at night. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I can tell.
Oh, wasn't that impressed. There was too much sex. I like
get a life, Tom.
I like them without the sex. How boring is that? I like them about vampires and
You've
stuff.
gone
It's terrible.
too far on the reform.
No, I'm fine. But
I didn't even get far enough to see any sex in that book.
To be fair, it's the first one's not.
Do you know what it was for me? And this really does sum me up. Because I didn't know how to pronounce her name, I just got fucked off.
Yeah, I was saying fairy for quite a while.
Me too.
And someone was like, that fairy book, and we were like, oh, about Feyre, and I kept going,
who's Feyre when she's at home?
I can't talk about this now.
Yeah, I couldn't get on board.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you reading then?
Currently, there's a trilogy, the Empire of the Vampire trilogy, which is it's really, really nerdy. It's really nerdy.
I think that's great. But the question I was going to ask you is what would be your advice to, let's just say that a man has stumbled across this and he's in his fuckboy era. Like what would you advise to him to be a vampire reading 8 p.m. bed kind of guy?
I think the first thing I'd tell him is to find something he really likes and stop worrying quite so much about what people think about you because of the things you like.
Yes.
Because if you actually lean into the things you like, you will find other people that like the things you like. And then it's an environment that's a healthy reinforcement. Whereas when you're not doing that, what you're then leaning into is other blokes that are pretending to be something they're not. And then you're all doing that negative spin and it gets worse and worse and worse. Like, so many of my friends when I was at uni that are like, realistically now I look back, we weren't friends. We were just like basically sort of facilitating each other to kind of get sadder and sadder and deeper in this like fuckboy hole. Yeah. Literally,
Sounds like a bad place to be.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be ever in that hole. I don't. Don't want to go in no fuckboy holes. No.
I think they're choosing the holes, to be honest.
Yeah, well, they can't choose mine.
Good.
It's a business.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. No fuckboys allowed here.
Yeah, no need.
Only reformers.
Reforms.
No
reformers. I'm not sure we want reform in
Sorry,
here.
it's because I've started reformer Pilates. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, very different vibe. Very different vibe.
Please cut all mention of reform.
Reform fuckboys only.
Yeah, that's
allowed. Reformer Pilates, reformed fuckboys.
Yeah, be very careful with the subtitles.
Not allowed.
Yeah.
Reform.
Yeah, the captions need to be very specific. Those EDs are very important.
We're getting cancelled tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, because of me again.
The entire reason we got you here is because I loved your social media. So I want to know, like, do you enjoy it? A bit? But like, is there a goal to it? Do you want to like, have you seen the benefits of it already in terms of like helping community?
First one, it gives me a very small version of the same thing I get from acting. It's like, if it's like a really small, like I have an itch that I need to scratch, and that is like keeping it just enough that it's not unbearable. Because if I wasn't doing something creative, my mind gets very dark very fast. And so it gives me like a little snippet. One of the things I've found off it the most is connecting with other people that are a bit like me and basically being able to tell them like, oh, no, it's not so bad. Like there's been so many, I've been meeting with people that follow me over the last couple of weeks who've reached out to say they're sad or struggling or whatever. And I've just been meeting up with them, having these conversations and talking about these things. And it's just so nice to kind of, it sounds a bit worthy, but just to like, it's not so bad. There's another end to this.
I don't think it sounds worthy. I think it sounds like essential and generous to give that to somebody else.
I don't know if it is generous.
A little bit, I think. I think you didn't have to.
I think there's a duty there.
Fair enough.
I think because of how shit I've felt, I think it's only right that I use an opportunity I've got. Like, because, like, I've been able to work with some, in like 8 weeks and 9 weeks, whatever it is, I've been able to like work with some brands and do a couple of adverts and things. It was really cool. But like, if I'm not going to use that benefit to help those other people, I'm a bit selfish.
Yeah, what's the point?
And I know the videos might help a few people, but like, if I've got the time, it's only right that I do, like, do you know, like I'd feel very empty if I didn't then do a bit more, because you feel like these people are reaching out with a problem that's not like, it's never usually serious. If someone's got a really serious problem, I'm going to refer them to like mental health services. If they're feeling a bit down because they can't fit in any clothes, or they're heavy and they want some guidance on how I got from there and how I changed my mental state towards it, more than fine to share it.
Yeah, that's so kind.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely.
I think those things can coexist. Like you can feel a duty towards it, and it also be an act of kindness.
Yeah. I think you probably don't realise how much your page will be helping people and will continue to as it grows, which it will.
That'd be nice.
It helped me. That's why I reached out to you.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I've never seen a man really talk about this in a way that I can really relate to in a similar-ish industry, front-facing. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. And like, he's so likable and normal and minus the like 8 p.m. thing, but like, you know,
You need to get on board with that, bruv. It's great.
9:30. That's a better. Come on. But I think it's really what I'm waffling. I'm saying is like, it's what you're doing is so great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We back it.
Let's finish with the quick questions. We love to do this. We love to go really, really deep and then like
Swim back
put it
out.
back out
Yeah,
to
love it.
some
Go for it.
jokes.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes, let's go.
Right. So smash or pass?
Okay.
Someone who's emotionally open but terrible at replying to texts.
I'll smash.
Smash it still.
Yeah.
All right. Sex on the first date.
Smash. Yeah.
Why waste time?
What is it? The 70s? We're going to judge each other for madness.
Someone who's had a major glow up and now has an ego. This is an interesting one.
Smash.
Smash, yeah.
They owned it.
Yeah. Someone who says men don't cry.
Oh, pass.
Pass, hard
Oh.
pass. A partner who's emotionally intelligent but bad in bed.
Pass. Pass.
Keep
Pass.
him as a mate, is it?
Hard pass. Yeah.
Friending you.
Yeah. What a lovely person.
Okay. Dating someone who slides into the DMs confidently.
Oh, smash.
Being the only emotionally available one in the relationship.
Pass.
Pass.
How boring.
Smash or pass Corinthia London.
Smash.
In the
Lovely hotel.
Corinthia.
Yeah.
On a first date.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that's a big smash.
Right. Being vulnerable as hell and still getting ghosted.
Oh, pass.
Mm.
That's
Horrible.
mean.
Horrible. Oh, I've had a few of them where you cry and then they leave. What? Go on.
When who cries? You
you
cry.
like you cry in a movie or whatever, and then they are completely put off you by that point.
Who's
Shut
put off by
up.
that?
Have you dated
What,
any
women?
My lord.
Sorry, if a man cries in front of
one
me,
of
I'm
them,
there.
Coco.
I'm like, marry me.
Coco,
Yeah.
remember me.
That's my
If you don't
problem.
cry, you're an.
That film nearly fucking ruined me.
I cry. Oh, it's on my. This is going to make me sound like a psycho. I've got a list of songs that will make me cry, like guaranteed, even if I'm not,
God, share the playlist.
Coco, Remember Me, where he's singing it. So that's number one. Cried at that moment in the cinema, because obviously you do, not a, heartless animal. Never saw me again. And we were quite a while in at this point.
She's a red flag. That's a red flag.
Yeah, see ya.
Okay.
What's your favourite musical?
Oh, Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
Phantom of the
okay.
Opera. Yeah. The Michael
Would
Crawford.
that be your dream part?
Not even. I just love listening to it. Michael Crawford, who's the guy who did Some Others Do Have Them, like the Betty guy from the 60s and 70s. He does. He was the original Phantom in London, and it's the best version. I listen to the soundtrack on Spotify all the time. It's on my top play every year.
No
Yeah.
way. That's niche.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
into it.
That is so passionate the way you just spoke about that.
Oh yeah, I love it. I properly love it. I think he's great.
Basically, we discovered off pod that Tom loves musicals, so obviously I started gassing, and they were like, "Wait till we start recording," and
Save it for the pod. Save it
save
for
for the pod. Last one, which is really interesting: sex while you're not fully confident in your body yet.
Smash.
Agreed.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
Agreed.
robbed of that just because you're not confident in your body.
Agreed.
Tom, we've really loved having you on. Thank you for
It's
being
been
so
lovely,
vulnerable
thank
and
you.
honest. And I really think that you don't understand how much you're going to help people with what you share and the way you show up online. So hopefully,
Yeah, keep
grows
doing
more.
what you're doing.
Thank you very much. Really nice. Genuinely, really nice.
Our sign off, it feels quite intimate now, is love you bye.
do you say love you, bye?
Say love you bye.
Love you, bye.
Saying love you on the first date. Love you, bye.
Joking.
We've all done it. No.
Yeah, trying not to. Trying to be so sensible nowadays, but yeah.
Love you, bye.
Love you bye.
Love you, bye.